A reading from the first letter of St. John. Beloved, this is the message that we have heard from Jesus Christ and proclaimed to you. God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. If we say we have fellowship with him while we continue to walk in darkness, we lie and do not act in truth. But if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, then we have fellowship with one another. And the blood of his Son Jesus cleanses us from all sin. If we say we are without sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we acknowledge our sins, he is faithful and just, and will forgive our sins and cleanse us from every wrongdoing. If we say we have not sinned, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us. My children, I am writing this to you so that you may not commit sin. But if anyone does sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous one. He is expiation for our sins, and not for our sins only, but for those of the whole world. The word of the Lord. Our soul has been rescued like a bird from the fowler's snare.
Our soul has been rescued like a bird.
Had not the Lord been with us when men rose up against us, they would have swallowed us alive. Then their fury was inflamed against us. Our soul has been rescued like a bird from the fowler. Then would the waters have overwhelmed us. The torrent would have swept over us. Over us then would have swept the raging waters. Our soul has been rescued like a bird from the clouds. Broken was the snare, and we were freed. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who has made heaven and earth.
Our souls are free like a snare.
On this, the feast day of the Holy Innocents, we remember the young boys 2 years and under who were slaughtered by the order of King Herod in a supreme act of selfishness in order for him to preserve his kingship. The gospel reading today ends with a passage from the Old Testament, Jeremiah, to underscore this horror, and I would like to reread that again. A voice was heard in Ramah, sobbing in loud lamentations, Rachel weeping for her children, and she would not be consoled, since they were no more. The lament of Rachel describes when the Assyrians took the Jews, the offspring of her child Joseph, away in captivity. Well, here the lament continues to her others, this time for the children who were murdered by Herod's men near her burial place. Now, historians have once claimed that the number of holy innocents slaughtered were in the thousands. But due to the small size of Bethlehem and its surrounding areas, recent claims have said the number may have been more around 20 to 50 holy innocents. But no matter how less impressive these numbers are, I have another more impressive number for you. Today we face another supreme act of selfishness. Today, in the United States alone, the act of abortion claims around 1 million holy innocents a year. My sisters and brothers, I'm not here to judge or to condemn. Lord knows I am not in the position to do neither. So therefore, I'm not going to preach to you about the horrors and the wrongs of abortion, as I know here amongst my brothers and sisters I am preaching to the choir. But as Father was reading the gospel reading, I couldn't help but to think, what about the bystanders? What about the people who didn't have a male child 2 years or younger? What did they do? Did they fear persecution, lock their doors, and wash their hands of it? This is none of my concern. And then I couldn't help but reflect on my own self. What would I have done? Would I have done the same? Or would I have answered my call as a Christian and enter into the chaos of my little brothers? Would I have locked the door and washed my hands of it as well? Or would I have been there for them? Would I have been my little brother's keepers? Now, I know I don't have to worry about that decision, as I didn't live there in that time. But I need to concern myself with the holy innocence of today, the unborn holy innocence of today. As we approach 2018, all of us as Christians, we must answer our call, my brothers and sisters. We must not stand idle. Because as we all know, and we've always been preached, staying idle is all that's needed for evil to prevail. So we must answer our call as Christians and enter into some pro-life movement, enter into some organization, and say that we will not lock our doors. We will not wash our hands and allow this continued slaughter of our unborn brothers and sisters. St. John in the first reading reminds us that when we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another. And I believe Christ is calling us to have fellowship with our unborn brothers and sisters. And for those of us here who are already elbow deep in the pro-life trenches and are participating in the fight against the slaughter of our unborn brothers and sisters, this feast day is for you. And of course, for all the innocent unborn who have fallen victim to this culture of death, of abortion, this feast day is definitely for you. I would like to end with a quote from Saint Teresa of Avila. It's a beautiful quote, and it gives us strength. Christ has no body now but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes through which Christ looks compassion into the world. Yours are the feet with which Christ walks to do good. Yours are the hands with which Christ blesses the world. During the Massacre of the Holy Innocents, all of us here today could do nothing to help them. As they not only died for Christ, they died in his stead. But through our baptism, we became children of the light. And as Saint Teresa of Avila proclaims, we became bodies for Christ. And so, my sisters and brothers, for 2018, I challenge you that as children of the light, let us defend all children of God, especially the unborn.